Can you really leave your body? You might not believe it, but every night, when you close your eyes, you enter a world where no physical law applies. A world where you can fly, pass through walls, and even see yourself from the outside. This isn't just a dream. This is the flight of the soul. For thousands of years, humans have spoken of an experience beyond the body. The Egyptians called it the journey of the Ba, the Hindus spoke of the Atman. But today, with sleep science, neuroscience, and thousands of documented experiences, we're reaching a point where we can ask, can we really leave our bodies? Why is this topic so captivating? Because we all dream at night, but some dreams feel more real than reality. Because the sensation of flying, of freedom, of seeing the world from above, lives within us all. Because soul flight isn't just an experience, it's a path of growth, discovery, and connection to something greater. In this series, I'll take you on a journey. From ancient roots to modern technologies. From simple practices to profound experiences. From doubt and skepticism to the moment of actual separation from the body, and by the end, you won't just understand what soul flight is, you'll learn how to experience it yourself. Before sleep science entered the scene, before EEGs and MRIs, humans closed their eyes at night and traveled to a world with no map. A world where the soul left the body and soared to the heavens. This wasn't just imagination. This was history. In ancient Egypt, the human soul had two parts. Ba, the symbol of personality, awareness, and the ability to move after death. Ka, the vital energy that kept the body alive when someone died. The Ba separated from the body and could travel to different places. Wall paintings, coffins, and funerary texts are filled with images of the Ba in flight like a bird with a human head. This was one of the earliest visual depictions of soul flight. In Vedic philosophy, the soul or Atman is independent of the physical body. In yoga and meditation, there are practices to separate awareness from the body called the subtle body or Sukshma Sharira. In Tibetan Buddhism, monks use specific practices to enter states called bardo, the threshold between life and death. In this state, the soul can travel, experience, and even choose its path of reincarnation. In shamanic cultures like those of the Amazon, Siberia, and Native America, shamans use music, dance, and sacred plants to enter states known as soul journeys. In these journeys, shamans connect with spirits, animal guides, and the energies of nature. These experiences were used not only for healing but for discovering truth and guiding their tribes. Modern psychology, the out-of-body experience, OBE. In the 20th century, psychologists and neuroscientists began studying a phenomenon called the out-of-body experience, OBE. People in specific conditions such as accidents, unconsciousness, or deep meditation reported seeing themselves from the outside or moving through space. Studies showed that stimulating certain parts of the brain, like the temporoparietal junction, can create the sensation of leaving the body. But the question remains, is this just an illusion? Or a gateway to another reality? Soul flight is not just a technique. It's a shared language across civilizations. From Egypt to India, from shamans to mystics, all have spoken of a journey beyond the body. When you close your eyes and feel yourself separating from your body, is your soul truly traveling? Or is it just your brain playing tricks? Can science explain something that mystics, shamans, and dreamers have experienced for thousands of years? What is an out-of-body experience, OBE? An OBE is a state in which a person feels separated from their physical body and sees themselves from the outside. This experience may occur in the following conditions: extremely vivid dreams, deep meditation, accidents or unconsciousness, near-death experiences, NDEs. Use of binaural music or sensory stimuli. People report that in this state, they saw their body from above. They could move through space. They connected with beings or energies. Their sense of time and space changed. Scientific studies have shown that stimulating certain brain areas can induce the sensation of leaving the body. The most important regions: temporoparietal junction, responsible for sensing the body's position in space. Frontal lobe, associated with awareness and decision-making. Limbic system, linked to intense emotions and mystical experiences. In experiments, scientists used electrical stimulation of these areas to create the sensation of seeing oneself from outside. But the question remains, is this just an illusion? Or a doorway to another reality? This experience may occur in the following conditions: extremely vivid dreams, deep meditation, accidents or unconsciousness, near-death experiences, NDEs. Use of binaural music or sensory stimuli. People report that in this state, they saw their body from above. They could move through space. They connected with beings or energies. Their sense of time and space changed. Scientific studies have shown that stimulating certain brain areas can induce the sensation of leaving the body. The most important regions: temporoparietal junction, responsible for sensing the body's position in space. Frontal lobe, associated with awareness and decision-making. Limbic system, linked to intense emotions and mystical experiences. In experiments, scientists used electrical stimulation of these areas to create the sensation of seeing oneself from outside. But the question remains, is this just an illusion? Or a doorway to another reality? Famous scientific experiments. 1. Dr. Olaf Blonke in Switzerland recreated the OBE experience by stimulating patients' brains. 2. The AWARE project in UK hospitals attempted to study near-death experiences using visual cues. 3. REM sleep study showed that during a specific sleep phase, the brain enters states resembling soul flight. Meditation, music, and awareness-stimulating techniques. Many individuals have achieved out-of-body experiences using the following methods: guided meditation focusing on breath and visualization, binaural music with specific frequencies to align brain hemispheres, rope technique, imagining climbing an invisible rope, rotation technique, imagining spinning inside the body and separating. These methods shift the brain into a state where the boundary between reality and imagination fades. Can science prove the soul? To this day, science hasn't proven the existence of the soul, but it hasn't disproven it either. Out-of-body experiences lie at the intersection of neuroscience and spirituality. Some scientists believe these experiences are purely brain-generated. But others say, if the brain is just a receiver, maybe the soul is the transmitter. Soul flight, from a scientific perspective, is a complex phenomenon. But what can't be ignored is that millions of people around the world have experienced it. And now, with practice, awareness, and patience, you too can enter this extraordinary realm. In the next section, we'll dive into practical techniques: how to prepare, how to train, and how to experience your first soul flight. So far, we've learned that soul flight isn't just a myth. Science, history, and personal experiences all suggest this phenomenon is real, or at least, feels real. Now it's time to take action. Ready? Stage 1. Preparing the mind and body. Before anything else, you must calm your body and focus your mind. This stage isn't like preparing for sleep, it's preparing to awaken in another world. Ideal environment: a dark or softly lit room. Balanced temperature. Silence or binaural music. Body position: lying on your back, arms at your sides. Still, but without tension. Eyes closed, but mind awake. Stage 2. Entering the transitional state. In this stage, you enter a state between sleep and wakefulness. It's called the hypnagogic state, where strange images, sounds, and sensations begin. Breathing practice: deep inhale through the nose, hold, and slow exhale through the mouth. Count to 10 and back. Focus on the airflow. Visualization: imagine floating. Imagine rising out of your body. Imagine light or a tunnel. Stage 3. Exit techniques. Once your body is still and your mind is in the transitional state, it's time to separate from the body. Here are some well-known techniques. 1. Rope method. Imagine a rope hanging from the ceiling. Mentally visualize climbing it. Focus on the motion, not the image. 2. Roll-out method. Imagine rolling sideways out of your body. Strengthen the sensation of rotation, even without a clear image. 3. Float method. Imagine your body becoming light and rising. Focus on the feeling of lightness, not physical effort. 4. Vibration method. Some people feel buzzing or vibrations. Instead of fear, focus on the vibration. Let it carry you. Stage 4. Maintaining awareness during exit. Once separated, you might get excited and snap back into your body. To prevent this, stay calm, breathe. Look around, but stay focused. Don't question, just experience. Stage 5. Journeying through the etheric realm. In this stage, you can travel to different places, connect with beings or energies. Ask yourself deep questions, but remember, this journey isn't like a dream. You are conscious, and everything you see reflects your inner self. Stage 6. Returning to the body. When you're ready to return, imagine approaching your body. Accept the feeling of heaviness. Open your eyes. Gentle soul flight is a skill not mastered in one night, but through patience, repetition, and awareness. If you've practiced these techniques, share your experience in the comments. If you haven't succeeded yet, don't lose hope. We're here to learn together. In the next section, we'll explore real experiences from people who managed to separate from their bodies and saw things they'll never forget. Some experiences can't be explained by science, can't be analyzed by logic. They can only be heard, felt, and believed. This section is about people who left their bodies and returned with stories that changed their lives forever. Experience 1. The man who saw himself from above. I was in the operating room, unconscious. But suddenly, I felt like I was rising. I saw the ceiling, the lights. I even saw myself motionless on the table. Doctors were around me. One said, "His blood pressure is dropping." I heard it all, saw it all, but from above. This is one of the most common types of OBE, seeing the body from outside, usually in critical conditions. Many people have reported describing conversations, movements, and even medical instruments while unconscious. Experience 2. The woman who visited her mother's home. I was meditating. Suddenly I felt like I was moving. Not with my feet, with my mind. Then I saw myself in my mother's house. She was pouring tea, wearing a blue dress. The next day when I called, she said she was wearing that exact dress and had just poured tea. These experiences show that soul flight can involve travel to real places, not just imagination or dreams. Some people have even seen details that were later confirmed. Experience 3. The Buddhist monk and the Temple of Light. In deep meditation, I entered a tunnel. White light, sounds like music. Then I found myself in a temple I'd never seen before. But it felt familiar, like I'd always been there. These experiences are more mystical. People feel they've entered a realm beyond time and space. Some call it the etheric plane, others the fifth dimension, or the home of the soul. Experience 4. The artist who received inspiration. I've always painted, but one night, after practicing soul flight, I entered a space full of colors and symbols. I saw beings that were part human, part bird. When I returned, I painted it all. That collection became my most famous work. Soul flight isn't just an experience, it's a source of inspiration. Artists, writers, and musicians have often said their ideas came from a world that can't be seen with the eyes. Experience 5. The skeptical doctor who changed. I always thought this stuff was hallucination. But one night, after a car accident, I felt myself separating from my body. I saw myself, saw the ambulance, saw red lights. When I came back, nothing was the same. Now, I believe in something beyond matter. These experiences show that even the most skeptical people can change their perspective with a single moment, a single experience. Soul flight isn't just a technique. It's a gateway to within, to above, to something unseen. India and Buddhism, Atman, Samsara, and Bardo. In Vedic philosophy, the soul or Atman is independent of the physical body. The ultimate goal is to reach moksha, liberation from the cycle of birth and death, samsara, in Tibetan Buddhism. monks use specific practices to enter states called bardo, the threshold between life and death. In this state, the soul can travel, experience, and choose its path of reincarnation. Shamans, ritual journeys to other worlds. In shamanic cultures, shamans use music, dance, and sacred plants to enter states known as soul journeys. In these journeys, shamans connect with spirits, animal guides, and the energies of nature. These experiences were used not only for healing but for discovering truth and guiding the tribe. Soul flight isn't just an experience, it's a shared language among religions, mystics, and civilizations. From Emiraj to Bardo, from Fravashi to Sephro, all speak of a journey beyond the body. If this section inspired you, write in the comments which tradition or story resonated most with you. In the next section, we'll explore the risks, misconceptions, and ethical boundaries of soul flight, things you need to know before entering this journey. Risks, misconceptions, and boundaries of soul flight. Soul flight is a journey to another world. But like any journey, you need to know where you're going, why you're going, and how to return. This section is about the things rarely discussed: risks, misconceptions, and boundaries that must not be crossed. Common misconceptions. 1. Soul flight means escaping reality. Some believe soul flight is a way to escape problems, pain, or loneliness. But this journey only has meaning when done with awareness, purpose, and preparation, not for escape, but for discovery. Point 2. Anyone can experience it with one night of practice. The truth is, soul flight requires training, patience, and mental readiness. Quick and shallow promotions may lead to disappointment or unstable experiences. Point 3. If you leave your body, you might not return. This belief is more myth than reality. But it's important to know that maintaining awareness, calm, and control during the experience is crucial. Potential risk: sleep and mental disruption. Intense practices without preparation may cause insomnia, severe nightmares, anxiety or mental confusion, frightening or unstable experiences. Some people have reported encountering scary beings, strange sounds, or feeling trapped during out-of-body states. These are usually caused by inner fear or lack of readiness. Dependency on the experience. Like any mystical experience, soul flight can become addictive. Some may become overly absorbed and disconnect from daily life. Ethical and spiritual boundaries: respecting others' privacy. In some accounts, people attempt to enter others' mental space or homes. Even in the etheric state, this is a violation of privacy. Commercial or deceptive use: some individuals or channels use soul flight as a tool for sales, power, or manipulation. Always proceed with awareness and research. The line between imagination and reality: it's important to know that the etheric experience, no matter how real it feels, must be balanced with reason, logic, and clarity. It should not lead to confusion or delusion. Safety recommendations: always practice with a calm mind and healthy body. Use trusted sources, not shallow advertisements. Record and analyze your experiences. If you feel fear, anxiety, or confusion, stop the practice. Consult with knowledgeable individuals or spiritual groups. Soul flight, like any journey, requires a map, a compass, and preparation. If you move forward with awareness, it can become one of the deepest experiences of your life. If you enter without purpose or caution, you might get lost. So far, we've journeyed together from Egypt to the brain, from sleep to light, from technique to experience. Now it's time to ask, what was all this for? Soul flight isn't just an experience, it's an awakening. An invitation to discover something that's always been within us, but we've forgotten. Is soul flight provable? Science has not yet proven the existence of the soul. But millions of experiences, thousands of stories, and hundreds of spiritual traditions point to something beyond the lab. Soul flight may not be provable, but it is experienceable. The impact of soul flight on personal life: those who've had this experience report a deep sense of peace, reduced fear of death, increased awareness and focus, artistic and spiritual inspiration, a shift in perspective on life, relationships, and purpose. Soul flight is like a mirror that shows your true self without masks, without fear. If you've come this far with me, it means you're ready for the next stage. Here are a few suggestions to continue your path: building a practice routine every night before sleep, do breathing, visualization, and relaxation exercises. Take notes. Write down your experiences. Analyze them. Studying trusted sources books like Journeys Out of the Body by Robert Monroe, Astral Dynamics by Robert Bruce, The Phase by Michael Raduga. Connecting with a spiritual community. Join online or in-person groups. Share your experiences. Ask questions. Learn. Soul flight is a journey that begins with a question, continues with practice, and reaches its peak through discovery. If this series was helpful to you, subscribe, leave a comment, and share the video with someone who needs it.